So, your amazing brain, it has been skewed away from nature, but you can bring it back to nature. That's one of the things that makes your brain amazing. You can draw that line in the sand and say, no more, I'm not going to be manipulated anymore by these companies that create GMO foods to mess with the wiring of my brain. And we wonder why our kids have so many diagnosed behavioral disorders, the wiring of their brain. You can't mess with that. No wonder we got so many problems, and suicides have spiked up tremendously, and nobody's talking about these genetically modified foods by these companies that's messing with the chemistry of our brain. Nobody's talking about it. That's absurd to me. I know a lot of you, all of you, pride yourself on being free and free to make these choices. When you're buying these foods, you're not as free as you think you are, because those foods that are genetically manipulated are rewiring your brain. So you're not as free as you think you are in this instance, and I want you to know that. Most food companies, that's what they're doing. That's what they're in the business of, is manipulating you on a biological level and messing with your brain. We wonder why we have so many mental illnesses today. Just curious, what if bad food suddenly tasted bad, and really good, healthy, healing food suddenly tasted like this most amazing stuff you'd ever put in your mouth before? How awesome would that be? How peace-giving and stress-annihilating would that be to finally reclaim your health, prevent problems, reverse problems, whatever it is that you need to do so that you can just be happier and feed your family better and watch your kids grow into happy, healthy, productive adults because they got mental clarity and focus? Wouldn't that just be the most amazing thing on planet Earth? It's usually the taste, right? The taste that makes it hard to even get started or hard to stick with something. It's the taste. Oh my God, the taste. Well, this is kind of a new concept for me, and this video could be totally just mind-blowing for you and open up a whole new doorway of thinking and getting things that you want, improving your life. This could be like a video that leads you down this path of creating a revolution in your life, and I'm hoping it does that, so stick with me. All right, so you weren't born to enjoy foods that are bad for you. You just weren't. You were actually born in complete alignment with nature to enjoy foods that are healthy for you. But along the way, you were introduced to foods that are genetically modified, foods that are genetically manipulated, that biologically manipulate your brain to make you crave more of the genetically modified foods that poison you. You were given these foods most likely unknowing to the people that fed you. I mean, these are most likely your parents and your caregivers as you were developing. Your brain develops to the age of about 6, and then you have your mass growing years, which end probably in your mid upper teens. And all this time, and even beyond then, you've been introduced to and eating and continuing to eat these foods that are genetically manipulated and poisonous and cause you problems, big problems. And as you get older, causes you much bigger problems, and you need medications and all these other things, and you get old and crockety and pains and all these diagnoses, tons of money shelling out to the medical community, basically to manage sickness instead of healing you. So that's what's been happening. But that was conditioned. You were absolutely not born to enjoy foods that do that to you, or anything that was genetically manipulated. But through conditioning, that's what happens. So now you crave it. So here's what's going. By the way, just so you know, after I get done, telling you about what's going on, I'm gonna share a solution for you, because you can do something really incredible with your amazing brain, and I'm gonna share that I'm gonna get into that in just a minute. So stick with me. So I want you to understand. Food manufacturers, the ones that engage in this behavior of manipulating the food genetically, this is all part of marketing for them. This is what they do to make money. This is what they traded their souls for, in my opinion, to make money. They actually manipulate the food to manipulate your brain biologically, to make you want to continuously give them your money in exchange for poisoning you and your family and your kids. They do it because they want to make money. It's sick. Those bastard companies in the grocery store, most of the food at the grocery store, 80-90% of it is genetically modified. That's the culture that we live in. So how do they get away with that? the FDA, the agency that's in charge of our well-being, working for the people, they're not so much working for the people in this instance. Companies that genetically modify food to manipulate our brains, this is seen as legit business. And I can't even name the companies that I'm talking about. They're all over the place. You could Google it. But I can't mention any specific ones in this video because I'm basically saying that they're poisoning you. And even if it's true, which it is true, they can sue me for slander. Even if it's true, because it is true. So that right there should be a huge clue over the death grip that these big pharmaceutical companies, food companies, agriculture, and drug companies and so forth, it should be a huge indicator for you that the death grip that they have over the legislative branch of our government that makes our laws. Why would they have such a death grip? Why do they have all those lobbyists that have penetrated both aisles of Congress? They want to protect their profits. Now, let me get into more of the solution, because that's really hard to digest, that the government allows this to happen. It's seen as perfectly legit, and it's legal. And there's people that sleep at night doing what they do, poisoning you on purpose, continuously manipulating you, your brain, messing with the wiring in your brain to make you want to keep shelling out your money for that food because you crave that food now. And that's why healthy food no longer tastes good to you, and unhealthy food you absolutely crave. They've manipulated you. We got to get past that. So let me move on to that part of getting past that and the solution, which we so desperately need. It goes to our health and our wealth, our feelings of wellness, our freedom. It goes to everything. I know a lot of you, all of you, pride yourself on being free and free to make these choices. When you're buying these foods, you're not as free as you think you are, because those foods that are genetically manipulated are rewiring your brain. So you're not as free as you think you are in this instance, and I want you to know that. All right, so here's one cool thing about your amazing brain, and it's still amazing even if it's been manipulated. You still have conscious decision to draw lines in the sand, basically say no more and never go back, never retreat. So the line in the sand that I'm specifically speaking to right now is that you draw a line in the sand and you say, you're not going to buy genetically modified foods anymore. You're going to have to do some research, and you can find foods that are labeled non-GMO, project verified, and things like that. Otherwise, food manufacturers are not required to label their foods GMO. They're just not. There have been bills introduced, but every single one of them that I know of so far has been shot down. Gee, I wonder why. It would threaten profits if there was a genetically modified, a GMO label on food. And they can't have that. But there are companies that are GMO free that label their food as such. So, your amazing brain, it has been skewed away from nature, but you can bring it back to nature. That's one of the things that makes your brain amazing. You can draw that line in the sand and say, no more, I'm not going to be manipulated anymore by these companies that create GMO foods to mess with the wiring of my brain. And we wonder why our kids have so many diagnosed behavioral disorders, the wiring of their brain. You can't mess with that. No wonder we got so many problems, and suicides have spiked up tremendously, and nobody's talking about these genetically modified foods by these companies that's messing with the chemistry of our brain. Nobody's talking about it. That's absurd to me. So, recondition your brain back to nature immediately. I recommend just going cold turkey. Don't get the genetically modified garbage anymore. And because they're not required to label it, you gotta sort out the ones that are labeled on their own accord to be GMO free. Google it, research it. The info is out there. It's endless. So if you want it, you'll do it. I promise. So what's going to happen? Your brain, over time, is going to rewire itself back to nature. You're going to start to hate foods that are bad for you because you're no longer being manipulated anymore. You're going to start to love foods that maybe you didn't even love before. I hated vegetables when I was a kid. I would not touch them. And nowadays, oh my God. Because I've rewired my brain back to nature to no longer be manipulated anymore by those bastard companies that actually do that and sleep at night. Because I went through that process, I can eat vegetables now raw, uncooked, no sauces or cheeses or creams to doctor them up and make them taste. I can take a whatever and just eat it raw. A cucumber, a tomato, radishes, whatever. Salads, I don't even need dressing on them anymore. And they taste so good. It's like, this is amazing. It's the most amazing thing ever. And when I was a kid, even if you doctored up vegetables, I still wouldn't eat them. I did not like them. That's the way that it was. But now my brain is back to nature, back to where it was when I was born, at least in this context anyway. So I'm telling you, you can do it. And I'm going to share something else with you too. So if you're interested in finding maybe a quicker way to recalibrating your brain back to nature and no longer being manipulated, this is something that I did personally, so I can speak on grounds of having done, from my own experiences. I actually did this with my mom, but I've partnered with a company years ago, a fitness company, and they do supplements and things like that. And I've always thought cleanses and detoxes to be just sort of a silly, gimmicky kind of thing. And when they started becoming real popular years ago, that's when I first started hearing about them. I never really gave them much mind. Kind of thought they were a little gimmicky, just another way to make money maybe. I don't know. I didn't know. But then this company that I've partnered with came out with a cleanse and detox thing. And because they've always just come out with really great products, it made me look and go, okay, well, I'll check this one out. I didn't get it. I wasn't sold on it just because the company I'd partnered with that I trust came out with a cleanse and detox program. But I at least looked at it, just not sold, just looked at it. And I actually started selling a lot of this program, and there's all these people, the results started pouring in, and lots of results of healing and weight loss and blood panel improvements and things like that, mental clarity, energy. But one thing that was really different for me, because this was a totally new concept, everyone actually told me about how their taste palette had changed. It's like, Tom, I wasn't even going for this, but all these junk foods I used to love, I can't stand them now. Soda tastes like junk, and sugary foods, processed foods, I can't stand them anymore. And I'm actually eating like raw cauliflower. And I'm like, isn't that interesting? And then I continued to look further. The results kept pouring in from all these people. And, my mom has quite a bit of health stuff going on, and I love my mom. And I'm always thinking about her. So I'm like, I'm sold. I'm going to get this cleanse and detox program that the company I partnered with came out with. I'm going to get 2 of them, actually. I'm going to do it with my mom. It'll be great support for her. And plus, I think it would be awesome if I liked vegetables and craved junk food less than I do now. And you know what? I went through it. It was a 21-day thing. And, within the first 10 days, like before the program was half over, my taste palette had significantly changed. It was like I'm eating raw veggies without any doctoring up, no seasonings, no salt, and they taste fantastic. And then my mom, oh my God, I can't even, I don't know how to sum up all the healing that she had. I mean, everything from her blood panels with her cholesterol to her inflammation. She used to wake up craving pain pills because she was in so much pain, and she stopped. She healed from her neuropathy. Blood sugar is under control. She's a severe type 2 diabetic. Weight loss just came natural in the program too. Incontinence she healed from. Lots of things going on. She came off almost all of her medications during that first 10 days. And by the time the 21 days was up, it was like, it's a mental transformation. So, and that's when I became aware of the real value of a cleanse. It's not just like getting healthy and increasing your health, and if you need weight loss and clarity and energy and all that, digestive health and regularity, but the fact that it actually rewires your brain back in alignment with nature, because it is nature, at least a good one. A good cleanse and detox isn't going to have more junk in it. A good cleanse and detox is it's going to detox you of the junk you've been eating. But most profoundly, at least in my opinion, it rewires your brain back to nature and away from all those company and people that are okay sleeping at night manipulating you and rewiring the chemistry in your brain. I still can't get over it. It's really hard to digest that. Most food companies, that's what they're doing. That's what they're in the business of, is manipulating you on a biological level, messing with your brain. We wonder why we have so many mental illnesses today. I could go on and on about that all day long. So if you're interested in knowing about the Detox Cleanse program, it's 21 days. And I spent $305 on it, which has saved us more than $305, like 305 times, I don't even know, but in multiplication tables, we got that money back already just in saved, doctor visits, medical costs, prescription drugs, junk food purchases. A lot of money saved on junk food purchases, enough to probably pay for the program just right there in itself. So it's a $305 program that, in my experience, brings you back so much more money, that pays for itself in multiplication tables. I've got a friend, Andrea, who I inspired to do it after I did it, because I got all these stories. And then now I did it. I got the personal experience. My mom has the personal experience of what she went through. And my friend Andrea is someone who has done other cleanses and detoxes before where I hadn't. And when she went through it, she said she saved thousands of dollars compared to other cleanses and detox programs. They didn't work as well as the ones that she spent so much more on. And this one saved her hours time-wise in preparation and things like that. So that was really cool to get her feedback from someone who has done other cleanses and detoxes before. So that's a pretty awesome thing. If you'd like to know more about it, just let me know, and I will send you a video about it. And if it looks good, you can do it. I will connect you to my private group on Facebook, where the support is endless. A lot of people in it with their own goals, but all of us have one thing in common. We're going through the process, doing the work to become better versions of ourselves, healthier versions of ourselves. And everyone supports each other in it. Everyone is lifting each other up. It's a great positive environment for growth. And we also solve problems together too, because we're not naive. We know that any worthwhile goal, and no matter how great a program is, or a cleanser or a detox, there's gonna be moments where you got to figure something out. And there's so many people in it, a wide scope of different people. It's really great when you see somebody in there, and I see a challenge or a question posed. Someone likely has been there, done that. More than one person has been there, done that, and can share the solutions that worked for them. And so it's just a really effective way for people to solve problems too, because no matter what, it's going to be stuff to figure out along the way. So being in an environment like that it's a big game changer. It makes a difference. So just connect with me privately if you want to know more about it. And I am all for sending my money to people who are in it for the right reasons, people that are making money by benefiting the planet. I want the organic farmers to make money, not the farmers that are poisoning us. Profit is not a bad word. Money is a resource that can be used to heal the planet or pollute the planet. And let me share something with you about that. Petitions and protests and things like that aren't going to make a difference. I mean, today it just makes people look silly, especially when it's about food, and especially when we say one thing and how we spend our money is the complete opposite. Then we just look like fools protesting and signing petitions. They don't follow that stuff. They follow the money. Even farmers that are organic and companies that are doing really good work and integrity-filled work, they need money to exist, even if they're not in it for the money. Organic farmers get zero subsidies from the government, which means, that's why organic food is more money at the grocery store, which means that they don't sell as much, because most people are still just looking at the price tag and not weighing the value against the price tag. And most people have no idea with the cheaper food that they're actually being manipulated and the chemistry in their brains are being messed with. Most people have no idea about that. That's why I'm making this video. And it needs to be shared. So if you got value from this video, share. If you know somebody who'd like it, share it. And let's get that conversation going. Because the only thing that's going to change the landscape of our food supply, it's not petitions and protests, it's how you spend your money. If we boycott toxic food and we boycott companies that deliberately mess with the chemistry in our brain and then lie about it, we boycott that garbage that's going on, those bastard companies, there's so many of them, then the landscape of our food supply changes. And also the government subsidies will go from toxic farmers to the organic, responsible farmers. And then that stuff, the prices go down. And the poisonous food goes up so high and it disappears, and we wipe that garbage off the face of the earth permanently. Imagine the world we would live in then, where everybody's healthy, happy, feeling better, less fighting, less stress, more peace, more productivity, more clarity, better parenting, better schooling, better production, better, everything. Better love and compassion because we feel better. Just imagine that. That would be a wonderful thing. So boycott toxic food and boycott those bastard companies that are messing with the chemistry of your brain. Reward people with your money that are doing good with it, like organic farmers. Organic farmers are not in it for the money. They're really not. They don't make as much. They're in it because they want to help heal the planet. So pay them. And other companies that create supplements and things like that that are free of genetically being modified. You know what I'm saying? It's such a simple concept, but nobody's talking about it, and very few people even know that it exists. So now you do. Research it. I don't want to condition you to use anybody as a crutch to think for you, even me. So I want to encourage you to not so much listen to me, well, hear me for sure, but, question me too. If I have any effect on you, I want you to become a free-thinking human being, because I believe that when you're more free-thinking than you already are, you're going to start doing your own research, you're going to make discoveries, and you're going to learn the truth about our food supply, and you're going to change how you spend your money, which is the only thing that changes our food supply. Not protests, not petitions, and not making phone calls to your congressman or congresswoman. It's how you spend your money. So let's talk about that. Share this video. If you want to know more about the cleanse and detox thing that I did, connect with me privately. I'll share it with you. If you want to do it, cool. I'll connect you up with my group of support and problem solvers, and it'll just be a wonderful experience. And if it's not the thing for you, then look for something that is. And I look forward to hearing from quite a few of you real soon. I had no idea this video would be this long, but sometimes I get on a topic and boom! I hope you got a ton of value, and I hope that this video ends up changing. I hope it changes your life or improves your life in some way, shape, or form. Take care, and visit my website too, by the way. It's called fireyourboss.xyz, not .com, but .xyz. Fireyourboss.xyz. To date, I've got thousands of pieces of content in the forms of blogs and videos and whatnot, free, with all kinds of information that you can use to help you go where you want to go. So cherry pick from it, whatever you feel will help you. And I would love to hear about that too, actually. Take care. Bye for now. Next video is coming real soon. Bye.